Let's be honest, cats are kind of the walking red flags of the pet world. They play hard to get, they demand attention on their own terms, and sometimes they leave you with emotional or literal scars. Sound familiar? That's because this behavior isn't just exclusive to our feline friends. If you've ever been in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable partner, you might start noticing some eerie similarities. Your cat disappears for hours, then suddenly reappears, acting like you were the one being distant. They refuse to acknowledge your affection until they decide they want it. And worst of all, no matter how much they ignore, insult, or scratch you, you still come back for more. So let's break this down. Are cats just toxic boyfriends in fur coats? And if so, why do we keep loving them anyway? The classic hot and cold routine. 1 minute, your cat is curled up in your lap, purring like you're the only person in the world. The next, they're biting your hand like you just insulted their mother. Sound familiar? That's the classic, I love you, but don't get too comfortable move. A toxic boyfriend might shower you with affection one day and then ignore your texts for a week. Your cat? They nuzzle against your cheek, then promptly smack you in the face with their tail as they walk away. But here's the kicker, we eat it up. We sit there, analyzing their every move like some desperate detective, trying to decode their behavior. Did I pet them too much? Did I come on too strong? Could I play it cool next time? Congratulations, you've just been gaslighted by your own pet. The love me, but not too much move. Have you ever been lying in bed, scrolling through your phone, when your cat suddenly demands your full attention? They sit on your chest, purring, making intense eye contact like they're about to confess their deepest secrets. So you start petting them. Maybe you whisper, I love you, you tiny, perfect creature. And then, bam, out of nowhere, they bite you. Not hard enough to seriously injure you, but just enough to send a clear message. I like you, but don't get carried away. This is peak emotionally unavailable behavior. They lure you in, make you feel special, and then suddenly punish you for caring too much. And just like in a toxic relationship, you start questioning yourself instead of blaming them. Maybe I pet them for too long. Maybe I was too needy. Maybe I should let them come to me next time. Yeah, you're being manipulated by a 6-pound ball of fluff. The mysterious disappearances. You ever notice how cats vanish for hours and then reappear like nothing happened? Maybe they were sleeping in a weirdly specific spot under your bed. Maybe they were sitting on top of your fridge, judging you. Maybe they left the country and came back with a new identity. Who knows? They'll never tell you. Sound familiar? That's because this is the same energy as a boyfriend who takes 3 days to respond to your text, but then acts normal when he finally does. Hey you, he says, like you weren't mentally preparing to stage a full-scale rescue mission for him. Meanwhile, your cat slinks back into the room, stretches dramatically, and pretends like they didn't just ghost you for an entire afternoon. And what do? We forgive them. Every time. The need for control. Cats don't like to be told what to do. You call their name, they ignore you. You try to pick them up, they go limp like a stubborn toddler in a grocery store. But they can dictate the rules all day long. They decide when you're allowed to pet them, when you're allowed to feed them, when you're allowed to exist near them. Toxic boyfriends do the same thing. They dictate when they're available, when they're in the mood to be nice, and when they suddenly need space. And somehow, we just accept it. Why? Because deep down, we believe that if we play by their rules, maybe, just maybe, they'll reward us with love. They won't, but we keep hoping. The sudden nighttime chaos. You ever notice how your cat suddenly gets super energetic at 3 a.m.? 1 second, they're peacefully asleep. The next, they're zooming through the apartment like they just remembered an unpaid bill from 2016. This is the pet equivalent of a boyfriend who is totally fine all day, and then suddenly decides to have an existential crisis at midnight. I just feel like we need to talk. Oh, you mean right now? At 3 a.m.? When I have work in the morning. Your cat doesn't care. Just like a toxic boyfriend who suddenly has deep emotional thoughts when it's least convenient for you. Your cat chooses the worst possible time to get in your face and demand attention. And what do? We listen. We sit there, exhausted, entertaining their nonsense. Because we're weak. So, why do we keep loving them? At this point, the evidence is pretty damning. Cats are high maintenance, emotionally unavailable, and a little bit manipulative. So why do we keep falling for them? Here's the truth. They give us just enough love to keep us hooked. That one time they curl up next to you, that one moment they nuzzle your hand, it's all worth it. Because deep down, we know that cats, and yes, even emotionally unavailable boyfriends, do care, in their own weird, dysfunctional way. Sure, they might not be the best at expressing it. Sure, they might treat us like peasants most of the time. But every once in a while, they let their guard down. They let us in. And when they do, it feels like winning the lottery. What's the lesson here? All right, let's get serious for a second. What's the actual benefit of this realization? If you're stuck in a real-life toxic relationship with a human, you might need to reconsider if it's worth staying. Unlike cats, boyfriends don't have an excuse for being emotionally unavailable. A cat is just wired that way. A boyfriend? He can do better. But if you're just dealing with a finicky cat, congratulations, you're officially a cat parent. You've willingly entered a relationship where you'll always be second place. But somehow, that's okay. Because at the end of the day, even the most toxic, emotionally unavailable cat is still a better partner than a toxic, emotionally unavailable human. And at least with a cat, you don't have to deal with bad text etiquette.